Goddess, Queen, Mother, Diplomat.
Femme fatale, Cleopatra VII is one of history's most intriguing and influential figures.
So much so that she is the seventh of her name, but we only know her as Cleopatra. She was the ruler of Egypt for 21 years, a full generation before the birth of Christ.
During her time as ruler, her name created much controversy throughout the Mediterranean region, and is still creating controversy to this day.
As the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt and a key player in the political and cultural landscape of the Mediterranean world, she left an indelible mark on history. In this video, we are going to discuss who she was, her physical characteristics, who were some of the key figures during her reign, and how she consolidated power.
Welcome to another episode of Stranger History. If you like learning about our strange history, please like and subscribe to our channel. Before we delve into Cleopatra herself, let's understand a little bit about her ancestry and who her family was. Cleopatra VII was a member of the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Greek dynasty that ruled ancient Egypt for nearly 300 years, but despite her Greek heritage, Cleopatra's ancestry was complex and multifaceted.
The Ptolemaic dynasty was founded by Ptolemy I Soter, a general in the army of Alexander the Great, who took control of Egypt after Alexander's death in 323 BCE. The Ptolemies were of Greek origin and brought with them Greek customs, language, and artistic traditions. However, Egypt had a long history of cultural exchange and intermarriage with neighboring regions, including Nubia, the Levant, and Persia. The Ptolemies also married into Egyptian royal families, and over time their ancestry became increasingly mixed.
Cleopatra's own ancestry was particularly complex.
She was the daughter of Ptolemy XII Auletes and his wife,
Cleopatra V Tryphena, who were both members of the Ptolemaic dynasty.
However, Cleopatra's mother was likely of Syrian or Jewish descent, and her father may have had ancestry from both Greek and Egyptian sources.
Despite the many myths and legends that have grown up around her, we know surprisingly little about her physical appearance. But what we do know offers some tantalizing clues about the woman who became one of the most powerful rulers of the ancient world. While there are no contemporary images or descriptions of Cleopatra that have survived, later accounts and artistic representations suggest that she was a woman of great beauty and charm.
She was described as having a commanding presence and a captivating voice, and was known for her intelligence, wit, and charisma. According to some accounts, Cleopatra had a long, hooked nose and a prominent chin, while others suggested that she had a more refined and delicate facial structure. Some accounts describe her as having black hair, while others suggest that it was auburn or red. However, there are some clues and depictions of what she might have looked like.
Cleopatra's official Ptolemaic coinage, which she would have approved, portrays Cleopatra as a Greek woman in style, including the Greek chiton, Hellenistic diadem, and Greek chignon.
Her eyes were often noted as one of her most striking features, with some accounts describing them as being large and luminous, and others suggesting that they were dark and piercing. While the exact details of Cleopatra's physical appearance may never be known for certain, it is clear that she was considered to be a woman of great beauty and charm, and that her charisma and personality were major factors in her rise to power and her enduring reputation as one of history's most fascinating figures.
Cleopatra herself was said to have been fluent in several languages, including Greek, Egyptian, Aramaic, and Latin. And she was known for her ability to navigate the intricate political and cultural landscape of the Mediterranean world.
Her ancestry reflected the complex and diverse history of ancient Egypt, which had long been a crossroads of different cultures and traditions.
Her Greek heritage was only one part of her rich and multifaceted identity, and her ability to draw on her diverse background and cultural knowledge helped to make her one of the most fascinating and influential figures of the ancient world. Cleopatra's ancestry was just one part of her ornate and fascinating story, but it serves as a reminder of the rich and diverse history of ancient Egypt and the Mediterranean world.
Known for her intelligence, wit, and charm, as well as her political acumen and ambition, she successfully navigated the shifting alliances and power struggles of the Mediterranean world, forming strategic alliances with powerful leaders such as Julius Caesar and Mark Antony.
Cleopatra VII was born in 69 BC in Alexandria, Egypt. She was a member of the Ptolemaic dynasty, which had been ruling Egypt since the death of Alexander the Great in 323 BCE.
The Ptolemies were of Greek origin and had been established in Egypt for several centuries.
the daughter of Ptolemy XII Auletes and his wife, Cleopatra V Tryphena.
She had several siblings, including a younger brother, Ptolemy XIII, who would become her seer ruler and later her adversary. Raised in the royal court in Alexandria, which was a center of learning and culture in the ancient world. She was well educated, ambitious, and fluent in several languages in which she learned to become a great communicator and leader. She was also trained in political and diplomatic affairs, as she was expected to one day rule Egypt alongside her brother.
Her early life was marked by political turmoil and upheaval. Her father was a weak and unpopular ruler, and his reign was marked by corruption and mismanagement.
He was eventually forced to flee Egypt in 58 BC, leaving Cleopatra and her siblings to fend for themselves.
Cleopatra's brother, Ptolemy XIII, assumed the throne with the help of powerful advisors, who soon began to challenge Cleopatra's authority.
In 51 BC, Cleopatra was forced to flee Egypt after a power struggle with her brother,
and she spent the next several years in exile in Syria and other parts of the eastern Mediterranean. During this time, Cleopatra began to gather support and allies, including Julius Caesar, who was then the most powerful man in Rome. In 48 BCE,
she famously smuggled herself into Caesar's chambers in Alexandria and formed an alliance with him,
which would eventually lead to her restoration to the throne of Egypt and her rise to power as one of the most legendary figures in history.
They had a son together, Caesarion, and their relationship helped to solidify Cleopatra's hold on the throne of Egypt. However, their romance was short-lived, as Caesar was assassinated in 44 BC.
After Caesar's death, Cleopatra formed a relationship with Mark Antony, who proved himself to be a great military leader and second in command under Caesar. To become one of the most powerful men in Rome, Antony was married to Octavia, the sister of Caesar's successor, Octavian, and his relationship with Cleopatra caused a major scandal in Rome. Cleopatra and Antony had 3 children together, and their alliance helped to secure Egypt's independence and sovereignty. However, their relationship was also marked by political intrigue and rivalry, as Antony was engaged in a power struggle with Octavian for control of the Roman Empire.
In 31 BCE, Octavian defeated Antony and Cleopatra in the famous Battle of Actium, which marked the end of their reign and the beginning of Roman rule in Egypt.
Cleopatra and Antony both committed suicide, and Egypt became a province of the Roman Empire. Egypt would not regain autonomy until the 20th century. Cleopatra's love life played a significant role in her reign, as her relationships with Caesar and Antony helped to secure her hold on power and protect Egypt's independence.
However, these relationships were also a force of political turmoil and ultimately led to her downfall.
Cleopatra's influence extended far beyond the borders of Egypt. She was known for her patronage of the arts and sciences, and under her reign, Alexandria became a center of learning and culture in the ancient world. Cleopatra's relationships with powerful men such as Julius Caesar and Mark Antony have contributed to her reputation as a seductress and femme fatale. However, her influence went far beyond her romantic entanglements. Cleopatra was also a mother and a leader who was dedicated to protecting her people and maintaining Egypt's independence and sovereignty. She was a skilled diplomat and strategist, and her ability to navigate the complex political landscape of her time was a testament to her intelligence and political savvy. Despite her many accomplishments, Cleopatra's life was not without tragedy. Her relationships with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony ultimately led to her downfall,
and she died by suicide in 30 BC at the age of 39.
However, her legacy continues to inspire and captivate people around the world today. Her intelligence, ambition, and political acumen were a testament to the power and influence of women throughout history. And her story serves as a reminder of the complex and fascinating history of the ancient world. Her impact on history continues to be felt today, as generations continue to be inspired by her story and her legacy.
She remains a powerful symbol of strength, intelligence, and resilience, and her impact on history and culture will continue to be felt for generations to come. So what's your opinion on Cleopatra? Was she a great ruler? Tell us in the comments section, and remember to like and subscribe if you like learning more about our strange history.